Hello, this is Eileen, the environmental educator, and in this video we're going to talk about the Panama Canal, which has been making headlines. This Hal Turner article on September 13th, 2023, when I'm recording this, says it stopped. That's a little bit of an exaggeration, but August 29th, it says that it's time for shippers using the canal to make decisions, and Reuters on September 1st, the wait times have increased by more than 40%. A severe drought is affecting the canal. That's not good for supply chains. September 6th, 2023, historic drought, a hot sea, slow Panama Canal shipping. August 21st, drought affecting Panama Canal threatens 40% of world's cargo ship traffic. That's August 23rd. So, right here, the Panama Canal is right here, between basically the end of Panama and South America. It's just very near right down here. And so all of these cargo ships that are traveling the oceans, even ships from over here in Asia, will go all the way across the Pacific and go through the Panama Canal. The other major shipping canal would be the Suez Canal, but in traffic from here, would go through the Suez Canal really, but it's faster for ships to go through the Panama Canal, they say, than through the Suez Canal. And so here's a picture of the canal, and then here's some 8 facts about the canal. And they say it's a shortcut between the Atlantic and the Pacific Oceans. It cuts across the Isthmus of Panama, a narrow land bridge between North and South America. Before that, ships had to sail around the tip of South America, which, right down here around the tip of the Cape of Horn, which I think the sailors call that the Roaring Forties. It's really challenging sailing, and it says it takes about 8 hours to cross the canal's 50 miles. That saves days. If a ship had to navigate down around Cape Horn at the tip of South America and back up the other side, it would have to travel nearly 12,500 miles or 20,000 kilometers. And the canal is it's over 100 years old. In 2014, it marked the 100-year anniversary, and a lot of people died building. Cost over 25,000 lives. A lot of diseases killed a lot of people. Over 1 million ships have transited through the canal, and right now it's taking in about $2 billion in tolls annually. And one of these articles says that a 40-foot shipping container pays $3,000 to go through the canal. Okay, wow. So that's a lot. But it was also back in 2016. It was expanded because this was built 100 years ago, and ships have obviously just gotten bigger and bigger. But right now, there's a ship being brought through the canal, and it says here that ships are being ordered to travel with 40% less weight to deal with less water. And the Panama government said these restrictions will last at least 10 more months. So this is going to cause a lot of shipping delays and a lot of things. And this article asks, are we supposed to believe they've run out of water to operate the canal? Why not use salt water through the canal zone? Oh, let me guess, the environment. Well, yeah, you know what? You don't bring salt water into a freshwater lake, okay? Because, you just don't do that. So, to the best of my knowledge, and I know I went through a canal in Seattle. It's called Ballard, and it goes from the Pacific into, it's either Lake Union or Lake Washington, or the one that Bill Gates lives on. And, it fills up with all the fresh water, and then that fresh water goes out to the oceans. You don't want to be filling up with ocean water and pouring that into the lake. So they've been having a drought, and so the lake is at a lower level. And these articles say that each one of these trips for a ship uses 50 million gallons. Okay. So yeah, that is a lot of water. I mean, I've always wondered, like, how do these canals not go dry? And right here, this CBS article says that the Panama Canal Authority is now employing methods to store and reuse some of the water to address the crisis, because this says that moving ships through the canal system of locks consumes vast amounts of fresh water, ranging from 55 to 125 million gallons per ship, depending upon its size. And much of that water typically gets flushed into the ocean. So, they are having some trouble here. And so, being, I guess, independent media, we have to just mock anything having to do with taking care of the environment, completely separate from if global warming's not real or not. But all of these people, they're, I called them stubborn the other day, I think. They're really Archie bunkers. I mean, we're talking, Mike Adams, who people love, Alex Jones, James O'Keefe, Bobby Kennedy, absolute Archie bunkers. They just will not give you good environmental information because global warming is not real. But, so Hal Turner mocks on that. But there's a very good reason why you don't bring salt water into the oceans. And, that 50 million gallons per ship is, that is a lot of water. So it's, these shippers, they have to be making decisions because, if they're carrying 40% less weight, then that is impacting their operating costs. It costs a lot of money to operate these ships, I guess. I don't know. I'd love to know what it actually costs for a cargo container to, get shipped when it costs $3,000 just for it to get through the canal. But again, right here, it says that they expect these restrictions to last for at least another 10 months. And right here in freight waves, it says it uses 50 million gallons of water, and the U.S. alone sends about 270 billion in cargo through the canal. So 40% of U.S. container traffic travels through the canal. So this is very important piece of engineering for global shipment of goods, which the world depends on now. So right, it says from an importer standpoint, Shanghai to New York via the Panama Canal is $3,000 for a 40-foot container, but that same 40-foot container going through the Suez Canal is $2,900. While this lane might take a week longer, the potential delays in Panama right now might even up the timing. So, yeah, it's been historically faster to go through the Panama Canal, but not with the delays and not with the restrictions that are being put in place here. So it says that I think there will be some realignment of supply chains and requests to switch the routing. And they say that they began restrictions earlier this year when they only allowed 32 vessels with a draft of up to 45 feet to pass through. And before that, they used to have 36 ships that had a maximum draft of 50 feet. So, yeah, less ships going through and less weight being allowed on those ships. It just means that higher shipping prices for you. because, these big barges, the price that they, end up charging consumers is based on their operating costs, and now less ships are contributing to the operation of these vehicles. So, it's the supply chain and holiday shopping are about to take a hit. And if the ships aren't taking a hit by having less cargo on their ship to make it through the canal, well, then they're going around the tip of South America, which is adding days and days and days onto their trip, which also increases the price of shipping. So the consumer is going to be affected by this big time. And, 10 months out at least before we'll see what the water level in the lake looks like in 10 months from now. And if the operation of the Suez Canal the Panama Canal gets brought back up to what it was. But right now, the water levels in the canal are so low that shipping and the movement of goods is being affected, and that will have an impact on pretty much everyone's life, supply chains. We saw how when that gets disrupted a few years ago, that people end up waiting for things they never thought they'd be waiting for, and that looks like it's on its way again. So stay tuned, people.